Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Friday Namaste morning session. All is well, and all is well, and all manner of things shall be well. Those are the words of Julian of Norwich, another anchorite who was able to sink into the holy instant where all things are well, regardless of how they appear. All things are aligned, no matter how disconnected they may seem. And this is the experience, or what we like to call the holy instant, that we're really seeking. Above all else, this is the only thing that we're really seeking. And when we realize that, and just allow ourselves to fall back into that holy instant, all of that other stuff, all of the conflict, all the disagreement, anything to do with anything at all, whether it be an election or votes or a conflict in the family, all of it just fades away and we fall back into the grace that is the only thing that is. The only thing that is. Yesterday I was talking to Vicky on the phone, and she said something to me that has kind of rung through my brain ever since. Sometimes Vicky or you or anyone will just say something. We don't realize that we're saying something that is just like this profound experience. Like when Vicky said to us in session, there is no spot where God is not. And one day you'll have to read the story I wrote around that. But yesterday, here's what she said. There's nothing that isn't. That's it. There's nothing that isn't. Nothing that exists isn't real, and nothing that isn't. I think it kind of comes back to what it says in the introduction of A Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. If it's real, it exists, and if it's not real, you don't have to worry about it. We can just surrender into the holy instant where only one thing is real. And that's the key. Only one thing is real, and that is love itself. And I surrender into that love. And when I do, everything else fades away. When I really do. And this has to be an all-encompassing, complete surrender. Not 99%. And this is why we so often say that you have to only want one thing. Your eye must be single and focused only upon the love that is everything and everywhere in every moment. The love that created you, the love that maintains you. We could call this love God, we can call it Allah, we can call it whatever we want. But in its experience, it's the holy instant. And it is this alone that we seek. So all week today, or this week, we've been talking about not knowing. Just letting that be okay, that we can just let go of all of those judgments and ideas and needs and beliefs about one thing being better than another and take no position. Here is the key. This is the primary thing that we've been focused on all week. As soon as I take a position, I am in opposition. As soon as I say it must be this way, what I'm saying is you're wrong. And what I'm doing is I'm making you separate from me and from God, and suddenly I've made the whole world of separation real just by taking a position. And I know this is hard, and I know this seems unattainable, because to the identity, it is unattainable. It can't be done from the perspective of identity. But what we're doing is we're surrendering the idea of me. I've said so many times that my only prayer here in this anchor hold is, Lord, release me from the idea of me, from this identity that claims one thing over another. And what I'm really desiring is to be released from all of that, so there's only thee. Then that experience of the holy instant. And that comes from just letting it be okay that I don't know. I don't need to take a position. I don't need to say anything at all that is going to contradict anything at all. I can just rest in this holy instant. and let that be enough, because it is enough. How simple is salvation? So this morning, I opened up A Course in Miracles, knowing, of course, that it's going to lead me to the exact perfect paragraph or page that's going to tell me, just help me go a little bit deeper into this and understand this a little bit more, and how we can release all of this conflict and all of these positions that we take to avoid the holy instant. Because that's what we're doing. The ego, or the perceptual mind, the split identity, is going to do everything in its power to avoid the holy instant, because it is in the holy instant where all solutions lie. Did you hear that? It's within the holy instant that all solutions lie. So we're seeking that now, nothing else, because that's the only place we're going to find what we really want. So let me just read a little bit of this, and you'll see what I mean. So this comes from chapter 27, and it's section 4, in case you want to go back and look at it later. The quiet answer. Now, we talk a lot about quiet, don't we? And here's going to speak directly to that. In quietness are all things answered. In quietness are all things answered. And is every problem quietly resolved? Wouldn't that be nice to have every problem quietly resolved? In conflict, there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible. Do you see that? If we're in conflict, or if we've taken sides in anything, what I've done is I've made resolution impossible. There cannot be resolution because there are two. What we're seeking is the experience of the holy instant, which brings all things together as one. So once again, in conflict there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible, and to ensure that no answer will be plain. No answer will be obvious. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, right? Depending upon from which position you look at it. And what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer in another light. And this is what we're seeing all around us today. That many of us will say, and I've said it many times, I cannot understand how those people could possibly see it like that. It is beyond me. Guess what? They're saying the same thing about me. They're saying the exact same thing about my position, what I believe. Okay? And this is why it's key to take no position. And I'll say it again. I know that that seems impossible. I know that from the perspective of the identity, it is impossible. But this is what we're being asked to do. In every moment, in every situation, to say, maybe, I don't know, thank you. If we just stay with those few words, the holy instant is right around the corner. Okay, so once again, what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer in another light. You are in conflict, and it must be clear that you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved. If God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved. For what God wills already has been done. So we're going to find the answer not in the conflict. There is no answer in the conflict. It must lie somewhere else. And it must lie everywhere else. That's what the holy instant is, which we're going to hear about in just a moment. Thus, it must be that time is not involved, and every problem can be answered now. It's the only place that any problem can be answered, right now. Yet, it must also be that in your state of mind, solution is impossible. In your conflicted state of mind, no solution is possible. Therefore, God must have given you a way of reaching to another state of mind. And here's the key. God must have given you a way to reach to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. 5 words I have now for you. Such is the holy instant. Another state of mind in which the answer has already been given. The holy instant. It is here that all of your problems should be brought and left. Everything. Here they belong, for here their answer is. And where their answer is, a problem must be simple and easily resolved. Love. Don't you see that that's always the answer? That's always the solution? And we look at the current state of things, the world, our families, the U.S. if you live there, or probably wherever you do live, you're going to find the same conflict. And love will always be the answer. And love is the door to the holy instant. You open that door, you step in. All problems have now been resolved because you've laid them upon the altar. You've said, I'm not going to try and figure this out anymore. I'm not going to take a position anymore. Because as soon as I do, I'm wrong, no matter how right I think I am, no matter how much evidence I have to support my belief. I'm going to be wrong if I take a position. But if I can just live within the experience of, in perception, I cannot know, but I know that you do, and I'm going to surrender into that, then is every answer given. So, my dear Vicky, that is your cue to step in and elucidate this even further.
Okay, Jerry, thank you. So another way to see it is, which thought system are we living in? If we live in the thought system of the ego, there's always going to be positions of good or bad or right or wrong. And within that realm, every decision is still a for separation, for ego, for self-punishment and fear, no matter how good or right it may appear. And what the holy instant does that you described is, it is our bridge, it's our way to the other thought system of our oneness, of our one will with our Father, that we are created pure and innocent, and our life is nothing but love and joy without opposite. So when we choose, we're not choosing in the ego thought system this or that. That's not helpful. What the real choice is, which thought system do I want to live in, do I identify with? And when I make a choice for which thought system I want to live in, then how I take my next step unfolds here by the grace of that thought system. And if it's the thought system of the ego, I'll find myself in more conflict. If it's the thought system of love, of oneness, somehow the way will be open. Jesus says he makes the crooked way straight. He will go before you. He will remove every stone in your way. So the question, the only choice we really have is which thought system. And when we choose a thought system, we weaken the other thought system. And as healers, light bearers, miracle workers here in time, right now, in this second coming that we're living in, we're called to actively live in a thought system of reality, of oneness. And thereby we are weakening the thought system of separation, of fear, of the ego. It's either the ego's thought system or the soul's thought system. It isn't more difficult than that. And and if we let it be that simple, when we see that we're clinging to some position, that's our offering at the altar. That's the idol that we've chosen over oneness. It's that simple. And we offer that idol. We don't change ourselves. We don't get mad at ourselves. We don't keep justifying ourselves or demonizing someone else. We make it our offering. That's the sacrificial lamb. Whatever has been on our mind is our position. That's the idol that has replaced our oneness with our Creator. And that's exactly the portal where we can choose oneness. That's why willingness is all the holy instant asks of us. It doesn't ask that we feel like, oh, we're doing this right or wrong. We come with willingness and open hands as we are. It's a come as you are party. As you are, here I am. Holy instant, Holy Spirit, here I am. This is what I feel and I'm mad about or hurt about or believe in. Here it all is. I want the truth and only the truth. Here I stand. And in that willingness, I weaken the thought system of separation and it starts to collapse as more and more of us are making that one choice to live in that one thought system of holiness, of oneness, of love. It's only love. It's all only love.
It's all love.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing that isn't, like you said to me
Nothing to do.
yesterday. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. We don't need to worry about it further than that. And if it is, it's love. Because all things are created in love and all things remain in love. And that's the only choice I need to make, to see that. And that's what allows me to choose which thought system I want to perceive. One that is true, one that is false. One that is in light, one that is in shadow. And I can choose that at any moment. And as long as I take a position in time and make someone else wrong, I know immediately what thought system I'm in. I know immediately what world I'm going to see. And it's really that simple. Choose only love. Choose to live in that light. And if you do, then you are going to be so bright that you will begin to illuminate. You will be the light of the world, as Jesus says. And you don't light a fire and then put a basket over it. You light it on a hill so it can be seen. So let your light be seen. Let it shine. This is what we're being called to today. We are living in a time, if there is such a thing, we're living in a time of transition from the shadow into the light. All things are serving that one goal. And each one of us has been called to serve that one goal. If we but choose to be that light on the hill, showing that this is possible, to live in only love and to be in the light is not only possible but inevitable. And we choose it now, because now is the only time that it can be chosen.